Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video we'll be going through some very old art I made a while back and redrawing it. Now this series of art was basically like a rainbow series where I took every color of the rainbow except for orange for some reason and drew them as characters. But honestly, it wasn't like a super serious thing. It was just kind of like a little fun thing I did back then. And today we're going to be redrawing the old art and basically drawing them in my current art style. And this batch of redraws will be a two-parter, so stay tuned for part 2. And let's start with the first color in the rainbow, at least my rainbow, purple. Now we're going to be starting with a little bit of a light roasting / criticism of my old piece. Now very much you can notice that the line art is really bad. I was not great at line art back in the day. I remember I drew most of my digital art back in the day using a tablet I had. It was a Samsung tablet and I used to draw with my finger like most of us start out doing. Anyway, for this art piece, oof. I mean, it's not that bad when you look at it. It's just the line art that really makes it bad and the proportions a little bit. I feel like if you changed most of those things and still kept the same art style, it wouldn't be as bad. But yeah, let's get into the redraw. Now again, starting off with purple. Now I honestly kind of remember I tried to do this a while back. I tried to actually redraw these specific rainbow art pieces a long time ago, but I didn't finish it. I remember I came up to green, but then again, they don't look like these specific old drawings. They were just like me trying to do the series again, which they also didn't turn out that great, so I might also redraw them as well at some point. I have this goal of mine where I kind of want to redraw every single like what I consider old digital drawing that I've ever made, which I know that's kind of arbitrary because like there has to be a cutoff point where I stop doing it, but I do have a cutoff point. Like I have a mental cutoff point where I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna draw anything else after this point, but I do have a plan on redrawing every single digital art piece that I've ever made because I really like how they looked. I just wish that I just look at them and I'm like, ooh, these could be so much better with how I draw currently and my current art skills. So yeah. But for the purple redraw, again, I don't know what to call them. I guess the purple girl, I'll call her the purple girl. For her, I wanted to basically redraw her exactly how she was, but then when it came to drawing the hair, I was like, nah, I gotta do something different. I gotta make it look a little bit more fun. So I decided to give her like a short, like spiky hair, very much inspired by like that jellyfish hairstyle, but not completely. It's like a mixture between like a wolf cut and a jellyfish hairstyle. I'm pretty sure that's like the inspiration for this hairstyle. And now we're coming into like the line art part of it. And honestly, for me, doing line art is really fun. I feel like I've mentioned this before, but doing line art is honestly really fun. It's when I have to start like rendering is where I'm like, I don't want to do it, but then the minute I actually start doing rendering, then it becomes fun. It's like a thing of me where like I don't want to do something, but then the minute I start doing it, I'm having fun and I'm enjoying myself. It's a weird thing for me, but yeah. And I also kind of get that fact that the rainbow type that I'm using is kind of like weird because why am I starting with purple? Usually the rainbow starts off with, actually I don't know what the rainbow starts off with. Oh, yeah, it starts off with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, then indigo. But for some reason I started from the bottom up, not the top down version of the rainbow, so I don't know why I did it that way, but I guess I did. Not looking back, I am confused why I did it that way instead of the original way downwards, not upwards. But hey, as long as I drew the art, that's all that matters, I guess. But for me, I feel like purple is actually my favorite color to shade. My favorite colors in terms of rendering and shading are definitely purple, blue, and pink. No, not pink, red. Purple, green, blue, and red. Yeah, I feel like those specific 4 colors are like my favorite to render, and also browns are also my favorite to render because you can make it look like golden and stuff like that. Those are my like favorite colors to render. So this art piece is really fun to render. But I feel like the most difficult color for me to render, I feel like it's yellow. It has to be yellow. Yellow has to be difficult. I did have fun drawing the yellow one. It's not going to be in this video, it's going to be in part 2, so again, stay tuned for the next part. I did have fun rendering the yellow one, but sometimes yellow is a very difficult color to render because like you can go so many ways in terms of rendering it. Like you can either use like a different color in general in order for the shading, or you can try and use a muted like brown or a muted orange. Usually using like an opposite of like the original color itself does better when it comes to shading. Sometimes, not all the times obviously. Like sometimes obviously using purple to shade purple works better than using any other color. Sometimes, again, the key word here is sometimes, because sometimes using pink to shade purple looks better than just using plain purple, or sometimes using red to shade purple. I don't know, I've never shaded purple with red, but I'm just throwing out examples right now about how you can shade any color with any color basically. I mean, you can shade anything with anything. You can shade it with black if you want, as long as you know how to do it properly so it doesn't look muddy and muted. You can shade anything with anything. I don't like the idea that, oh, you have to use this specific color, shade this color for it to look good. That's not true. I feel like as long as you find a good happy medium with how you shade, it's gonna look good either way, as long as you know how to like how colors work and how to do it in a way that at least appeals to you. Because for me, saturated colors and bright colors appeal to me versus muted colors, so obviously I shade with more vibrant colors. Anyway, that was purple. And now moving up the rainbow with blue, my blue girl. Now into roasting this one as well. Now for this illustration, I have to say, again, what was my problem with using brown, especially a light brown for the line art? I had a huge problem with always picking a light brown to use as a line art color for like almost every illustration I made back then. Oh my god, the shoulders and like the chest area of this character is like so weirdly shaped. It's diamond shaped if anything, but it looks so weird, and how the neck connects to everything and how tiny, and like it's almost like a bobblehead, how much of like a bobblehead the head is on the character. I don't know what I was thinking back then. This one compared to the purple one, I can say the blue one not that great, not great. But anyway, let's get into the redraw of the blue girl. Now for this illustration, this one was actually the funnest one that I drew. I actually took the inspiration for the hairstyle from an image I saw on Pinterest. I might be able to find it because I probably saved it into my portraits board, because I have a board of like portrait inspiration, because I love drawing portraits. I feel like that's something you could notice if you looked at my art. Like I draw a lot of portraits because I just love drawing character faces and like stuff like that. But this one was the most fun to draw. But the one thing I do kind of regret about this illustration was like the outfit that she's wearing. I wish I could like go back and change it and make her wear something different, but other than that, everything else about it, I love everything else about it. Like the hair, like the ears, the face is actually very pointy, a lot more pointy than I tend to draw faces, which I actually like because it's more unique and different. And while making these rainbow redraws, is what I'm gonna call them, rainbow redraws, while drawing them, I had this thing where like I kept making the eyelashes thicker and thicker with almost every illustration, which I actually love how that looks because I love drawing thick eyelashes like that. I feel like I took that inspiration from Nautica Williams, I believe. Yeah, she's well known for like drawing really thick eyelashes on her characters, and I don't know a lot of people do that, but she's the one that I took that inspiration from when I first started drawing and stuff like that, and when I first started like watching art YouTube videos. But to be honest, my very first art YouTuber that I ever watched was like Bailey J. She's my first ever art YouTuber that I watched, and I still watch her to this day. I will still binge watch her vlogs and stuff. Like I still watch her to this day. She's like she's had the biggest impact on me as an artist ever. Same as like Nautica Williams, Lavender Town, you know, a bunch of like the old OG art YouTubers. They've all had like an impact on me and my art ever since I started drawing. But yeah, again, like I said before, blue is like my favorite color to render and shade. So this one, it was super fun to render and shade, especially the eyes. I love how bright and like blue they are. Like they just look so beautiful. And the one struggle that I had with this illustration, it came to like the shades of blue that I wanted to use, because with blue you could easily go for a green blue or a purple blue. It's hard to go for a true blue, at least what you may consider or what visually you can see when you see blue. Because let's be honest, a lot of times when we see the color blue, it tends to look either purpley or green depending on like your device. Like sometimes on a certain screen the blue look like, on my tablet the blue looks so different than it does on my monitor, so it's really hard to like draw. Like especially I feel like it's usually blue and purple. Those are the two problem colors when it comes to like monitors and like on screens and how like they depict. Like sometimes I'll watch an art YouTuber saying, oh, I'm using the color blue. I'm like, that's not blue, that's purple. But then I'll remember, oh yeah, it's my device is making the color look purple when in reality it is blue. It's the same thing with like rendering. You have to like I wanted to find a balance between making it an actual true blue, not making it too green and not making it too purple, which I feel like I did find that balance, because I really love how this illustration turned out. I love how I rendered the hair, and I do believe I go back and color shift the hair a little bit to be a bit darker, because against the skin it's very much the same color. Not skin, fur. Against the fur it's very much the same color, so I do go back and like hue shift it a little bit to be a bit darker. But I feel like the other fun thing was color like rendering in the butterflies. The butterflies were like the funnest part of rendering, as well as the gem on her chest. That gem was so fun to render. I remember I looked up a Pinterest tutorial in order to do it. There's a lot of useful tutorials on Pinterest on how to render that I really effing enjoy, and I really like them. And especially the tutorials on how to like render gems, nature, grass, those types of tutorials, they're really useful and really helpful, because it's like great to get a visual idea of how to render those things. And here's me going back to hue shift the hair, and that's basically the end of the video. That was the blue girl. And now for the last illustration of the video is the green girl. Now for this one, I feel like I don't hate it as much. Again, what was my issue with using light brown as a line out color for almost every illustration I made? I don't know why I had that issue, but I don't hate it as much as I do the blue one, and I definitely like it as much as I do the purple girl. I feel like for this one, the one thing I have to criticize is like the outfit. What is like on her outfit? It's just like a random assortment of things. That's why with the new one I completely redid the outfit and went for like a Victorian dress style outfit. I do like the hair shade. Unfortunately, I did not keep that specific hair shade, like making it like a grayish greenish blue. I kind of made it just a light pastel green. But I don't think I hate this one as much as I did the blue one. But so yeah, let's get into the green girl speed paint. Now for the green girl, again, I basically took the previous outfit and just changed it into a more like Victorian-esque dress. And truly, I feel like the sketching part of this illustration was the funnest part of it, honestly, because I loved drawing the ears and like one of them like almost flopping downwards. I don't usually tend to do that as much. And for me, green tends to be the color that I tend to not enjoy rendering / shading, because I don't know, sometimes the shading ends up looking weird on any like green base color, but I guess that's just me, maybe how I see it. But again, I did change the hair color. I kind of wish I had kept it that silverish gray color, but I do like the new shade that it turned out to be, which is like almost a lime green, but not that much of a lime green, you know? I feel like I could have come into the same issues that I had with like the blue girl, of having the green not be too blue and not too yellow, having like a perfect true green like in between. but I'm pretty sure I did nail that as well. And obviously there's a bit of like a gold element in here because I don't like it just being pure green. I love the fact that I added like a little bit of gold here and there. Now for the necklace on her neck, I did intend for it to have a bit more like a detail on it, but then I just ended up being like, I don't care about the detail, but I do wish I could go back and add a bit more detail on it. I feel like I could if I really wanted to, because the layers are separated, like the line art layer is separate from the color layer, so I could, if I really wanted to, go back and redo it. And doing these redraws, I really had fun like drawing their hairstyles, because almost each and every one of these girls who represents a different color has a unique and different hairstyle, because I think that was the point of like the redraw, to try and make them as unique and different as possible from the original while still taking inspiration from the originals, but also trying to like, again, put more effort into how they look and stuff like that. So I feel like I really like nailed it when it came to like their hairstyles. Like with the purple girl, I like the wolf cut jellyfish mixture. With the blue girl, I like how wavy and long it is. And with this girl, I love how short and curly but also a little bit spiky it is. Like I enjoyed each hair drawing process. I enjoyed each one, especially the next ones that are coming up. I really enjoyed drawing them. So again, stick by to watch the second video coming. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be coming this week or next week. Probably next week, because I'm gonna have a bunch of other videos coming out in between those, I believe. I hope I can make it. But yeah, and with the rendering process, again for this one, it was difficult to render the color green. It's not my favorite to render, but I feel like if I do get it right, a lot of times it does end up looking a bit nice. Now for like the thing that I really liked how it turned out was definitely the eyes. Again, I love rendering eyes. That's why I love drawing portraits most of the time, because I love rendering eyes. I love how like green they are, and I like how like I used like a blue purpley shade on the tops of the eyes to like show some kind of like reflection of some kind. I forget why people actually put them there, but I do think it's for like reflective reasons, like to show that there's some type of like atmosphere around the character. They're not just like in a void. It's like it shows some type of atmosphere, I believe. I feel like the hair could have been rendered better, in my personal opinion. I feel like the highlights on the hair, I could have rendered them a bit more better than I ended up rendering them. But then everything else I feel like turned out fine and turned out great. And I also want to add that these specific illustrations of like my rainbow redraws came before I started like coloring the line art, basically matching the line art of an object to the color of the object. Like for example, if you notice the hair clips and the necklace are gold, but the line art didn't change to any browns or gold or anything that matches it, I just kind of kept them the same color as everything else, just for like simplicity and cohesion. But if I were to go back, I would change them, because nowadays I do match the line art color to the color underneath to like make it more, I don't know, to make it more appealing. But I feel like either one or the other technique has its own benefit in art and its own place and its own like visual look and style when it comes to the end product of an art piece. But anyway, that was the green girl. And that's the end of the video. Hope you stay tuned for part 2 and any other video I make in the future. Hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think about the art I made. Tell me if you think you feel like the old ones or the new ones better. And feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And see you next time. Bye!